When an IELTS examiner reads your Writing Task 2 essay, they have to decide, have you answered the question in full? And quite often, the answer is no, or at least not quite. And that's why today I want to talk to you about 5 unofficial types of Task 2 questions and how you can make sure that you answer each of them in full and get a higher score. It's Asia. Let's get started. I've chosen a recent Task 2 topic. Here it is. Some companies allow their employees to work from home. Others still expect people to work in the office. Discuss both these views and give your own opinion. Give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. Write at least 250 words. So, this is our first type. 2 views and your opinion, also known as a discussion essay. It asks you to do 3 things. Write about 2 opposing or different positions and to express your opinions on them. You always have 2 statements. In this case, the company policies regarding working from home or making everyone go to the office. Then you're asked to write about those points of view and share your views. So here are some ideas of how we can best prepare for this type of question. First of all, note down a maximum of 2 or 3 points in favor of the first statement, working from home. Do the same for the other, going to the office. Then choose which aspects to concentrate on. Take a position. It doesn't have to be strongly in favor of either side. You can perhaps favor one side while still seeing that it has drawbacks. The important thing is to have an opinion. Then think of 1 or 2 great examples to illustrate your points. Make sure they are really relevant. For example, if you argue that staying at home makes you more productive, don't back it up with an example of how work-at-home parents can spend more time with their children. That's not very productive. Your notes should take 3 or 4 minutes and then spend another minute thinking about how you organize your paragraphs. Our paragraph structure could look like this. First of all, paraphrase the 2 positions and express your opinion. Then present and discuss the first statement, adding your point of view. Then present and discuss the second statement, again adding your point of view. And finally, conclude by summarizing your opinion in terms of the 2 positions presented. So, all in all, you will have 4 paragraphs. It looks a little complicated, and that's why it's advisable to restrict your ideas to just 1 or 2 main ones. It's a matter of quality, not quantity. In a 250 to 300 word essay, there is no time or space to write about more than 2 or maybe 3 aspects. In this case, to take one aspect, we could write about both remote and office work. How about the idea that, thanks to technology, remote work can be as effective and productive as office work? This could be countered in the following paragraph by pointing out that all the technology in the world cannot really replace good old face-to-face meetings. If you're more in favor of working at home, you could point out that online meetings and video conferences can be just as good. Success in Task 2 is built on good structure and clarity to show the examiner how well you can organize your ideas. So, how different are the other essay types really? I thought it would be interesting to create some other tasks based on the same topic. Here is what I came up with. Companies should allow their employees to work from home if they wish. To what extent do you agree with this statement? Give reasons, and so on. This is an opinion or agree-disagree essay. It only has 1 statement, and we must give our opinion on it. Just how different is this type? The difference is that there is only 1 statement, not 2. But be careful. Don't assume that because a statement says work from home, It's not referring to work in the office. Always remember that the aim of task 2 is to judge how well you can write about a topic from different points of view. In this case, again, you must include a couple of main points in favor and against working from home. However, you must also take a position. Of course, to what extent allows us to be strongly in favor or against, or take up some position in the middle with a mix of pros and cons. It's up to you. The paragraphs could follow this pattern. Paraphrase the statement and take up a position regarding it, then present some arguments against your opinion, provide some arguments in favor of your opinion, or the other way around, and finally make a concluding statement repeating your opinion. Again, what we're doing is mixing objective statements with personal views. In this structure, I put present some arguments against as the second paragraph or the first body paragraph, because then we can begin to look at them critically before going on to present our opinions in the next paragraph. But you may wish to present the arguments you agree with first. It's up to you. The important part is that your opinion is clear. You shouldn't say that you agree with one thing in one paragraph and then disagree with the exact same thing in the next. When you're presenting arguments against your opinion, you should explain why you disagree with them and why you think your arguments are stronger. It's such an important aspect of your writing. In my courses, we pay a lot of attention to how you can present arguments you don't agree with and still make your opinion clear. It's called to overturn counter-arguments. So, how about the third type? Advantages and disadvantages, or a comparison essay. Here is my version of it. The number of people working from home has grown in some countries in recent years. Do the advantages of this outweigh the disadvantages? Don't forget, by the way, that the wording of the questions can vary. Here you're asked to compare the pros and cons. In the general training test, we might just have what are the advantages and disadvantages. It would be simpler. Then you're asked to describe, not to compare. Getting back to our examples, the question asks you to compare something in terms of its pros and cons, its good and bad points. Of course, it's also asking for your opinion. The paragraphs could be: in the introduction, paraphrase the question and take up your position. Let's say you decide on advantages. Present the disadvantages, present the advantages, and then write a conclusion where you repeat your views. As you can see, this type of question produces a very similar pattern to the discuss both views and to the to what extent do you agree or disagree type. The differences may lie in some details. So here are 3 short extracts from each of the 3 types we've looked at so far. The question is, which is which? Let's read through each one. As I read, think about what type it belongs to. Type 1, type 2, or type 3. Extract number 1. One drawback that is frequently mentioned regarding working remotely is that some people tend to feel isolated and miss the creative energy that office-based teamwork can offer. However, this could be mitigated through online chat or brainstorming sessions with colleagues, as well as occasional days spent working at the office. What do you think? Discussion, comparison, opinion? Extract number 2. Some companies emphasize the benefits to teamwork and ultimately productivity that come from being together in the office. While there is undoubtedly some truth in this, it has also been my own experience that remote teams can maintain highly productive standards by sharing information and online chats or video calls. Again, Any ideas? And extract number 3. I strongly believe that office staff should be given the chance to decide whether they would prefer to work primarily or in some cases entirely from home. One reason for this is that the technology now enables us to work remotely under conditions comparable to those in the office. Have you decided which is which? Let's have a look. The first one is more likely to be from type 3, comparison. It points to a drawback or a disadvantage and then counters it in the second sentence. Extract 2 is more clearly a type 1 discussion or 2 views and comes from the paragraph outlining reasons why companies want their staff to remain in the office. It includes an example from personal experience. Extract 3 is opinion. We see a clear expression of a personal opinion, I strongly believe, in the first sentence, and that is backed up with a reason or justification in the second sentence. I know what you're thinking. What about the other 2 types of question? Don't worry, here they are. They are often called 2-part questions, and there are 2 of them. Here is the first. It presents a kind of problem-solution scenario. There is a statement followed by a first question about the underlying causes or reasons for this phenomenon. Why is this happening? What are the causes? The second question looks for a solution. And here is an example. Fewer students are studying modern languages at school and university. Why is this? What can be done to encourage more students to study languages? The second kind, our type 5, consists of a statement followed by 2 direct questions about it. Students are encouraged to study science and technology rather than subjects like history and literature. Do you think history and literature are still relevant today? Should children spend more time studying these subjects at school? In both cases, the idea is to explore a topic by answering questions. The task does not explicitly state whether or not we must give our opinions. But as always in task 2, when we support our arguments with examples, then of course we're expressing our opinions. We must present reasons as to why something has happened and offer possible solutions, or explain consequences in the classic type 4, whereas type 5 questions are more open, even though the 2 questions are related. In both, you can apply this 4-paragraph structure. Paraphrase the statement and the 2 questions, answer the first question, answer the second question, and summarize. So these are the 5 types of IELTS writing task 2 questions. The next step is to learn how to write each type of essay, how to organize your paragraphs to fully answer the question, and to make your opinion clear throughout, another requirement you must fulfill. And if you'd like to take step-by-step lessons where you can learn everything you need in as little time as possible, check out my online courses. I'll link them in the video description. And I actually have an in-depth lesson on how to write a perfect introduction from my courses on YouTube as a free preview. And it would be a great next step for your learning. Thank you so much for watching me today. Good luck with your preparation and your exam. Bye!